My name is Michael Combs. I'm a CEC, Certified Executive Chef. That's what that stands for. Here at Metropolitan Community College for the Institute of the Culinary Arts. How I wound up here was Jim Tribune was a friend of mine, and I just basically called him one day and said, "Do you have anything open for just adjunct teaching?" He said, "Yeah, come on down." So I did. I started teaching Foundations 1 and then 2. Then I got offered a job here, a full-time position came open, and I applied for it and got it. And so I've been here teaching and as an executive chef for like 4.5 years. I enjoy teaching. It allows me to give back, and then not only that, it teaches me too, because once you're teaching somebody, you have to understand why you do things the way you do. You can't just do them. And so you have to understand and be able to explain those things to students too. So it's helped me out a lot too. I was an executive chef for Sodexo. My company is Sodexo. It's a French company. I was a traveling executive chef, so I traveled to 5 different units and basically took care of the hiring, put out parties, larger parties, and also just labor management. My dad was in the military, so we lived overseas. We lived in Japan a good majority of my life until we moved here. I was about 18, and I finished high school here. In Bellevue, and then I went to school here. I went to culinary school here at ICA, and just got an associate's degree here and an apprenticeship. Yvonne Nettleman, she was one of my first instructors here. She was really good at what she did, and she was real understanding, and she was able to see how they would learn best. And so, some people were more advanced than others, some people, weren't, that sort of thing. And she was able to notice that and able to help people out in either way. And so I really enjoyed that. I learned that a lot. I worked under a chef named Steve Villamonte. He was a CEC as well, Certified Executive Chef. And he taught me a lot, mostly about larger parties. I just learned how to get things done basically. And he kind of showed me a lot of the inside of the kitchen. I kind of came to be in this industry around the tail end of the old school era, where people would still yell at you and that sort of thing. So I got to see the best of both worlds, but yeah, he taught me a lot. I like to show them several ways to do things. You'll hear there's right ways, wrong ways, and lazy ways. I teach them the right way, and it's usually the long way. And then I'll teach them another way, and it's really up to them to decide how they choose to use those ways in the future. There might be some instances where you'll have to cut corners in order to get done at a faster rate, and sometimes you got to take your time to be able to do things right and have it come out perfect. So it just for them to learn both sides of the coin is what I like to show them. I personally believe that in order to stick with this industry and this business, you have to have a passion for what you do. You have to look forward to what you're doing in order to keep doing it. Because, when your feet are killing you, you've been going for 16 hours and you have 3 more days that are 16 hours each, and you don't have a day off for 21 days. You have to have a reason for doing it. And let me tell you, most of the time when the students start, it's not the pay. This industry does not pay a lot starting. But if you hang on in there, those things eventually come. But it's like kind of paying your dues. And it's not set up specifically for that. It's just the way it is. This industry is. Nobody wants to pay a lot to go out to dinner anymore. So you can't hire people and pay them a lot of money and have great benefits and that sort of thing, or they won't. The customers won't be able to afford the meal. So you have to be able to cut somehow. But it's passion. You have to love what you do. To be able to take away knowledge about how to do things and why you do things the way you do. But at the college level, and especially the students that are just beginning and starting, I think they need to figure out whether this is for them or not. This job and career path isn't for everybody. I think some people figure that out right away when they're on their feet 8 hours a day, because our classes are 8-hour classes. Most of them are for labs. So they're on their feet, they wash their own dishes, they cook, and then some of them, after a week are just like, that's really hard on my body. And some people, they have no problems with it because they enjoy what they're doing. And so it's kind of one of those things where you just gotta figure out whether you like it or not. And knowing that I'm willing to go out of the way to be able to teach them anything that they're willing to know. I mean, even if it's not a regular class time, I'm happy to show them anything they'd like to know as far as cooking goes. I'd be happy to go out of my way for anybody as far as teaching them culinary. Sometimes it's those small things like that where they see somebody that's helping them and they go the extra mile, that they'll be able to do the same thing later on for somebody else. We're starting to get more scientific, I think, with our cooking than what we were in the past. We have to be able to explain, and we have to know what's happening with some of this equipment to understand what the outcome needs to be. Not only that, it's much more fun too, to be able to use some of this equipment. Some of it's pretty pricey, but the outcome of it is awesome. It's basically increases standards. Some of the things we use now, we use sous vide cooking, which is cooking under vacuum, which is something we did not have back in the day, which is cooking things to a precise temperature in a water bath. We're able to be much more accurate in our cooking than we were. We're able to understand correct cooking temperatures, things that we didn't know in the past. So it's definitely changed things, and it's opened the doors for molecular gastronomy as well. It's probably patience, mainly because cooking, when you're cooking and you have parties going on, there is not much for patience. But then you have to completely change that and be conscious when you're in the classroom that what you're there for is teaching. It's not there to put out a party or to complete something. It's there, what you're there for is to teach. So you have to consciously think about being patient, just because it doesn't come natural in a normal kitchen. And so basically kitchens are defined as fast-paced, and then to slow all that down for a student while we're teaching is probably the biggest challenge, I think. Believe it or not, I do like to work out, I like to exercise. It's been a while since I've been able to do that, just lately with the holidays and that sort of thing. But, and then with my 2-year-old. But that's pretty much my passion. It helps me kind of relieve stress, and then I feel much better, coming to work, and I just feel better all around. So I try to do that as often as I can. Every quarter we have new students that come in, and they always say, they always ask me, they ask us all really, as far as instructors, as far as one phrase, what's the best advice you can give us? I just say, have initiative. In this business, it's something you have to have. Without it, you won't survive. Well, the ultimate level for becoming a chef is a certified master chef. That's one level up from where I'm at right now. There's only about 70 or so in the world right now, though. So I don't know if I'll try out for that. It's pretty pricey to try out for that, and like I said, there's only 70 in the entire world. So, but I have shot it around to see if just for giggles, to see if I may want to try out for it. But as of right now, CEC is probably the highest I'll go for a while. Who knows? I've had my own business, and in the food industry, it's hard work. I'm not saying I'm afraid of hard work, but it is. If you're not there, then there's no one else to do it. It's just kind of the way it works. I'm sure it's that way with a lot of self-employed people out there. But I don't know, I'm just continuing to further my education and kind of see where that takes me. I mean, I'm happy where I'm at right now. I'm happy with Metro, and happy with those I work with, and I enjoy teaching. So right now, I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. My name is Michael Combs, Certified Executive Chef at the ICA, Institute for Culinary Arts at Metropolitan Community College.